So we have found ourselves back in Florida. We're in Osceola County. Why? Well, that's because that's where Sheriff Marco Lopez is. And we're going to go back 4 short years ago and see his swearing in. And then we will fast forward to just a few hours ago. Also, I would like to note that 77% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. Get your phone in your hand, get your laptop, click the button, and we will move along. So, Sheriff Marco Lopez, what are you up to?
New at 5:30, Osceola County has a new sheriff at the helm. Democrat Marco Lopez was sworn in earlier this afternoon.
He made history with his win in November. Lopez is now the county's first Hispanic sheriff.
Of course, first Hispanic sheriff. It's always got to be the first this, the first black this, the first female that, the first. Please, enough with the bullshit.
News 6's Jerry Askin was there as Lopez took the oath of office.
Before being elected sheriff, Marco Lopez worked for more than 16 years at the Osceola County Sheriff's Office.
16 years. More than 16 years he worked at the Osceola County Sheriff's Office.
He said he's humbled to be the first Hispanic sheriff, and he's ready to get to work addressing crime, diversity, and more training for deputies.
So help me God.
A sea of cheers today after Marco Lopez was sworn in as the first Hispanic sheriff in Osceola County, a county with a booming Hispanic population.
I do believe that I am that sheriff that's going to get that proper representation.
He addressed the crowd outside the Osceola County Courthouse today, saying he plans to tackle crime and also add more training for his deputies.
He plans to tackle crime, does he? Okay.
My mental health and de-escalation training is really important.
He said he also wants to help veterans better reestablish themselves in the community. And he also wants to hire more diverse and qualified deputies, something...
More diverse and qualified deputies. Diversity will get you killed.
He's been pushing for.
So we're going to diversify it. It may be a little slow process because we're a little behind, but guess what? It's going to be done right because we need to be successful.
Sheriff Lopez has been with the agency for 16 years, replacing now former Sheriff Russ Gibson. Some residents welcome the change.
I think it's got very good ideas for the growth.
You think it's a very good idea?
He's amazing.
Meantime, when I asked the sheriff about the packed crowds today at his swearing-in ceremony and lack of obvious social distance, he said,
It was out of my control. It was a public event. Nobody RSVP'd. People just found out that we were having it and they showed up. And I just hope to God that all the PPE equipment they had on works out for all of us.
In Kissimmee, Osceola County, I'm Jerry Askin, getting results. News 6.
First Hispanic sheriff wins. Now, what is the good sheriff up to? Well, let's see.
This is Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 6. Coverage you can count on.
Tonight on Eyewitness News at 6, only 9 investigates Shannon Butler has the sources to bring the...
And this is literally, well, this will go up tomorrow. So as of right now, this is just a few hours ago.
Big story of the arrest of Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez after years of digging and asking the right questions.
Marcos Lopez is in federal custody.
And we were the first to show you the
in federal custody
moment he was taken into custody in his sheriff's uniform, an arrest that took him by surprise.
This will mean that a new sheriff will need to be appointed.
And right now at 6.
It took him by surprise because he thought he was above the law.
We have a team of reporters to break down the charges, his troubled past, who will take over his department, and what's next in his case. Our live team coverage starts now. Only we were there as it all unfolded here in Orlando early this morning, and we've been breaking new developments ever since. Good evening. I'm Martha Sigalski.
I'm Darlene Jones. The sheriff showed up there at a Homeland Security office, investigation office, only to be handcuffed moments later. There it is. On charges of conspiracy to commit racketeering at a massive multi-million-dollar gambling ring. Here you see on the left his mugshot taken as he was booked into the Lake County Jail, and video there on the right of his arrest. We have a team of reporters across Central Florida tonight to bring you every angle of this major story, from what's happening now to what's next. We start with Channel 9's investigative reporter Shannon Butler live at that federal building in Orlando. And Shannon, you were the first to break details here on air and online, and a lot has happened since just before 10 when you arrived there this morning.
Yeah, we're here where Marcos Lopez's Denali is still sitting here.
A completely blacked out Denali that's going to run somewhere between $80,000 and $100,000. That's chump change to the sheriff, though.
Behind me, it took just minutes from him to go inside this building to the Lake County Jail. We know that because we were here when it all happened. HSI investigators tonight making it clear that no one is above the law. Marcos Lopez walked into this federal building this morning, but just minutes later, stripped of his gun and his badge, put in handcuffs and read his rights, asking agents what this was all about. What it was about was a months-long investigation for racketeering. Today, he was arrested.
Months-long investigation started almost after he was elected sheriff.
And booked in the Lake County Jail. According to HSI, the investigation started in 2023. The allegations that Marcos Lopez was involved in a massive gambling operation, one that was up and running here in Central Florida, not only in Osceola County, but also in Lake County. It's also one that brought in more than $20 million. Investigators saying it all started after Lopez took office in 2020. The gambling operations were allowed to set up illegally and run in his county, all in exchange for cash. Investigators writing, quote, Sheriff Lopez played a multifaceted role in expanding and protecting this illegal enterprise while using his office to shield the enterprise from law enforcement.
And it wasn't just him.
He was immediately suspended by the governor, as others were also arrested. But this could be just the beginning. Investigators telling us more warrants are being served and more arrests could be coming. Now, we were told that Marcos Lopez did not make a statement inside, which we could figure that out just
Yeah, he's not so dumb he don't know to keep his fucking mouth shut.
as quickly as this happened. Like 3 or 4 minutes, he walked inside and was taken quickly by car to the Lake County Jail. We are told, though, there are more, quote, targets in this investigation. It's not clear if they are witnesses or they will be arrested, but it is clear this investigation is long from over. In Orange County, Shannon Butler, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
And Shannon, you were able to break this story after years of investigating this sheriff and his office.
Yeah, we first got a tip on this story probably about 6 months ago. We have tried since then to kind of work this situation to try to figure out just how many people were involved. As you know, the sheriff has had controversies before at that department, so we were trying to weed through exactly what may or may not have happened here. But today, those rumors came to be true as the sheriff was arrested here in Lake County, again, under investigation now for racketeering charges. Martha.
A major story in our community, and of course you're leading the way. Excellent reporting. Thank you. Darlene?
Martha, now the suspended sheriff is not the only one implicated in this case. As you heard Shannon mention, there are 4 other alleged accomplices here. Channel 9's Ashlyn Webb is learning more about the people identified by the Attorney General's office.
On the club's TikTok, you can see Eclipse Social Club repeatedly promoting gambling. The social media page calls the establishment a casino with a lot, fish tables, and computer games with daily promotions. You can see the wall of the building lined with at least 20 video slots and other gaming machines. But according to the court documents, this is where the 5, including Sheriff Marcos Lopez, was involved in racketeering, an illegal gambling operation. According to the state business record, Sheldon Witherholt was the manager of this social club. Ying Zhang, who also goes by Kate, is listed. Witherholt, Zhang, and Marcos Lopez are accused of keeping the gambling house, unlawfully having slot machines, and setting up or promoting a lottery. State prosecutors say Sheriff Lopez and Ying Zhang were also involved with money laundering, so disguising them.
Also involved with money laundering, of course, because, you know, they can't have all that money showing up at one time.
Money collected from this illegal gambling operation. 2 other women are listed in court documents as employees or agents of this operation, including Sharon Frederick and Carol Coate. Ashlyn Webb, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
We received a statement from State Attorney General James Othmeyer saying this is a solemn day for Florida and our law enforcement community. We put great trust in our...
Only for the bootlickers. I think most people know that. I'm not going to say all of them, but it seems like every day it's more and more of them are just as... Why do you think when law enforcement, when cops and deputies act up, there's no repercussion? Because you got people like this that are looking into it.
Our constitutional officers, especially those who are our community's first line of defense. However, the law must be applied equally, regardless of position, power.
Yes, equally, and so should the sentencing. No deals, you know damn well. He's looking at 60 years in prison. You think he's going to spend 60 years in prison? I'm doubting it.
Or branch of government. Right now, the former sheriff is locked up at the Lake County Jail and will appear in court later this month. This isn't the first time he's made headlines. He's been involved in several scandals. Channel 9's Sabrina Majore.
Several scandals. Who's surprised by that? My guess would be nobody.
Live at the Lake County Jail right now. And Sabrina, he is not the ordinary inmate there.
Yeah, Martha, because of his status, the Lake County Sheriff's Office says he's likely being held in a part of the jail away from other inmates. But like every other inmate today, he was fingerprinted and photographed. Information about his arrest also transferred online as part of that booking process.
No, throw his ass in general population just like anybody else.
No one is above the law.
Osceola County's top law enforcement officer could now face up to 30 years in prison. The now former sheriff will enter his plea for racketeering and conspiracy to commit charges during an arraignment on June 30th.
No matter if you are the lowliest criminal or a high-profile sheriff, everybody receives the same due process in the criminal justice system.
Marcos Lopez first joined the Osceola County Sheriff's Office in 2003.
2003. He has been with the Sheriff's Office since 2003. Let that sink in. This isn't something that's just started.
Still serving in the Navy Reserve, and went on to work various law enforcement roles, including patrol and criminal investigations, before he was elected sheriff.
So help me God.
He made history at the swearing-in ceremony back in 2021, becoming the first Hispanic sheriff in the state of Florida. But his tenure wasn't without controversy. Lopez claimed to have accidentally posted a photo of 13-year-old Maddie Soto's body to his personal Instagram page.
He accidentally posted it to his personal Instagram page. Why would you post anything having to do with any of this to a personal anything?
Less than 24 hours after the missing teen was found dead in the woods. Following FDLE's review of the incident, Lopez was added to the Brady list.
He's on the Brady list. On the Brady list for untruthfulness would be my guess. There's no telling what he's on the Brady list for. But this is scrolling up is all the law enforcement that's on the Brady list.
I have never seen where the top law enforcement professional was on that list.
The Brady list tracks officers who could be a problem if they testify in court because
could be a problem or a problem
of bias, misconduct, or dishonest behavior in their past. And right now, Lopez does not have bond. Attorneys tell us that is not uncommon given the seriousness of these charges. Reporting live in Lake County, I'm Sabrina Majore, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
We'll be following this one, and we'll see how long it takes him to bond out.
We are learning more about the newly appointed Osceola County Sheriff, Chris Blackman.
Yes, the newly appointed sheriff is a former trooper.
Yeah, Blackman is the chief of the Central Division for the Florida Department of Highway and now appointed sheriff as his career spans 3 decades in law enforcement. Channel 9 Scott Martin continues our live team coverage outside of the Osceola County Sheriff's Office. And Scott, Blackman spoke briefly just moments ago.
Darlene, I was the first reporter just to speak with him as he walked out of the Osceola County Sheriff's Office, and I'm going to step out of the way. He's right back here getting...
Yeah, and that was like a Q&A where you can't hear what the questions are, and with the wind and everything, you can barely even hear what he's saying. I didn't even bother putting that up. You can go look it up on YouTube.
Ready to speak with us some more here in just a moment, but I asked him exactly, how was he doing, and he just said, things could be better. So we'll get some more remarks from him in just a moment. But I did learn that he has started here as a trooper in 1990. That's when his career began. He worked here in Troop D as a DUI trooper, then a sergeant, lieutenant, and captain, all within Troop D. That includes Osceola County here. Here's some video of him walking into the Osceola County County Sheriff's Office today after being appointed by Governor Ron DeSantis. I talked with a former public information officer of FHP, Kim Montez, and she worked with now Sheriff Blackman and says that he was promoted to a major and moved to Tallahassee, but came back to Orlando a few years ago as a troop commander before being promoted to Central Region Chief. Now he's appointed sheriff, and she says that he knows this area well.
He was also the captain over Osceola, so he is very familiar with the agencies, the people within the agencies that work that area, because he worked that area for so long as a supervisor.
And again, he just walked out and said he would be speaking with us, so we're going to go chat with him and see some of the remarks that he has to say and have that coming up later on WFTV tonight at 10. Reporting live in Osceola County, I'm Scott Martin, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
All right, thanks, Scott. And because Blackman was appointed, he can really serve there until the next election. We will have continuing coverage of the arrest of Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez, who's now suspended, and the fallout from this major case here on air and online at WFTV.com.
Yes.
More warrants are being served.
That's where we're at with this criminal sheriff. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Also, again, 77% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. You got your phone in your hand, your laptop, click the button, and we'll move along. Let me know what you think about this one, and I'm out.